this year's RSA conference in San Francisco, cybersecurity leaders discussed important topics like innovation and the role that artificial intelligence is playing as both a challenge and a solution. Yotam, Segev, CEO of data security platform Cyera, told JD Durkin why he's so confident about his company and the industry at large. Let's take a look.
We think about the value of these cyber companies and how it's changed. We've been in the business just over 4 years now. And when we started, a $25 billion market cap company was the biggest company in cybersecurity. And here we are today, and it's $120 billion. So we're looking at a 5x growth in 4 years. It's outstanding. It's unbelievable. And when you look at the conference and you look at the people coming in, the practitioners, and you look at the need that these enterprises have for cybersecurity and more sophisticated and more effective solutions, I'm a big believer that this industry is going to only continue to accelerate, and that when we will be sitting here 4 years from now, we might be looking at 200 or 250 billion market cap companies in cybersecurity. So I think that this is an industry that's on the rise. Obviously, it's had an amazing chapter thus far, but I think it's only going to grow. And for us at Cyera, we're very fortunate to be leading the charge on data security, one of the hottest topics right now, since AI feeds on two things. It feeds on GPUs and it feeds on data. So every enterprise is looking to improve their data security, to make sure that they're getting the right controls in place to be able to adopt AI responsibly and securely. And that's making Cyera very, very top of mind for many of these enterprise customers. And we're having a very exciting week here.
Absolutely. There's no doubt that such a big part of the reason that the industry has grown the way it is because the opportunities have grown. But with that, Yotam, as you know, the risks, AI-fueled threats are also on the rise. What component of AI-fueled risks are you most closely following today at your work at Cyera?
Yeah, I think for us, when we look at what's happening with the advent of AI on the attacker side of the house as well, right? It's not that the problems have changed, it's that they've gotten much more aggravated. The same techniques are generally being leveraged, but those techniques are just much more effective, much more proficient, much faster to iterate. And that's something that the enterprises are already experiencing in their security teams and in their security programs. And they're feeling that pressure. And I think it's putting a big onus on really getting the foundations right. Cybersecurity, it's not such a big mystery. We know what needs to be done to protect an enterprise in a good way. It's just very hard to do it. Every experienced CISO will tell you it's all about the basics. And for us, those are the basics around data security, inventorying the sensitive data, knowing what sensitive data we have, making sure that that sensitive data is locked down and protected like it should be, and preventing that sensitive data from being leaked maliciously or accidentally in the many different communication channels that are open.
How do you balance the need for innovation on the one hand with security on the other hand at the same time?
There is no balancing. Innovation is always going to win. Right? Like security is not going to get the ability to say no. AI is happening, and it's happening in a big way, and these enterprises are leaning into that. Security traditionally was always playing catch up. And what I'm hoping we're going to see is that with the growth of this industry, the maturity of this industry, it's actually going to be able to be ahead of the ball this time around with AI. And I'm quite concerned that if you think about it, we've been chasing a runner, a regular runner, and now we're chasing an Olympic sprinter. That's the pace of AI, and if we're going to play catch up, I think we're going to be left in the dust. I hope that security practitioners will understand that and will move their organizations to take preventative measures, proactive measures. We can't play the same game we always played, which is wait until the exposures happen and then find a way to close them. AI is just going to move way too fast for that, and we're going to be left in a position we don't want to be in. And I think that when I look at our mission and what we're trying to do in the world, this is a moral obligation to actually make sure that the future that our children and our grandchildren inherit is going to be a positive one. The world is changing. The world is changing fast. And if we think that it's all going to be great, it doesn't have to be. Things can break. Things can break in a way that's irreparable. And I think that cybersecurity today not only has an obligation to protect these enterprises from the day-to-day threats, it has an obligation to make sure that digital trust stays strong in society, that we can trust our institutions, that we can rely on AI. And this is probably one of the most important missions that anybody can dedicate their life and energy to this day and age.
What is one thing that you wish every customer understood a little bit better about the world of cybersecurity that very few actually do?
Ooh. I think that in our space, data security, there's a lot of baggage. People are burned. They had bad experiences. They tried to do things, they made investments, and they didn't really get the value from them for their organizations. And I think it's very hard to really change paradigms on that. Right? There's things that we've tried in the past, maybe 10 or 20 years ago, that didn't work out. And with today's technology, they actually can. So the same way we're seeing technology innovate on AI, and we all have, ChatGPT in our pockets right now, and even 7 years ago, who would have imagined the Turing test would be broken? It's now completely shattered. It's important to bring that same mindset to cybersecurity and really be able to lean into the innovation, into the new technology that is available, and into new possibilities to revisit old and painful problems with new solutions.